So we got this painting almost a year ago in one of our trips to Indonesia, and it's been a while, and we're finally going to put it up.
Yeah, we bought it right before the renovation, and I'm not completely sure on how our living room would be, but we fell in love.
Yeah, and apparently it matches the couch, so
It's time,
it is.
time to start living home.